I'd like to add something here. We spoke last week about the Biskurov, and the Biskurov learns it's textually, I'm not sure how great it is, but conceptually and contextually it's great. And the way the Ram quotes it and everything is that there's a law of Sidrosh Shloimim b'Toivosom. Shloimim is to ask for Shalom, and Toivosom is to ask him v'kavod zayin mitzbnei noach. Okay, so what I like to do is, since we did learn the mitzvahs about milchama and kufsadi, mitzvah say kufsadi, and the Rambam in Perek Vov of Hilchos Mulachim Mulchamos. The Ram Shita is, just one second, oopsie. The Ram goes like this. Einois Mulchamin modem ba'olam ad shekorim lo l'sholom. Echel mechemes reshut ve'echel mechemes mitzvah. The Rambam in Minyan HaMitzvos happens to say that this is only by mechemes reshus, and he calls the mitzvah mechemes reshus. In Mishnah Torah he holds that it applies even mechemes mitzvah, and then he recoins the mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah of hadina or mishpot of milchama, but the mitzvah is kriyas shalom. In mishlimu v'kibalei mitzvahs she'estab me'inoyach ein holgen mishama. And then halacha dalet v'im lo hishlimu oi she'ishlimu v'lakibu sheva mitzvahs oisini mo milchama. Okay. So I'd like to just ask a simple question. Okay. Is Kabbalah Zayin Mitzvahs, is it part of the Shalom process, or it's a separate din? So a priori, I would have said it's part of the Shalom process. But if that's the case, the Lashon Ramim Lo Yishlimu V'Lakibu Zayin Mitzvahs is a little bit odd. But for the same thing is the way the Biskurov learns the pasuk, Leisidreish Shloimim b'Toivosom. They're two different things. The Shloimim is to make shalom with them, and there's a separate thing called Kabbalah Zayin Mitzvahs. So this becomes very odd. So I could have imagined that it's part of the shalom process, but if it is, why should it be a separate category? And the same thing according to Biskurov. It really is a separate category. There's Shloimim v'Toivosom. Then we had another problem that the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvos, the Rambam in Sefer HaMitzvos doesn't mention Shalom at all. So does he disagree with the Rambam Mishnah Torah? So what I would suggest over here, there's a very interesting question, because see, the Rambam has another a disparate halacha. He quotes it in Hilchos Mulachim u'Milchamos in a different place, and I'll read it to you. He quotes it also in Hilchos Mila and Perek Aleph Halacha Vav. He quotes it also in Hilchos Yisur Biyah. I think it's one of the last halachas in Perek Ches. Yeah, here it is. Perek Ches halacha here, the second last halacha. Moshe Rabbeinu lo hinichu haTorah v'mitzvos el Yisrael. Okay. Abu Mishal Egotter, it's anyone l'chol reitzlis gaya mishah umois Shneva kochem kageh, avol mi sheloi rotza ein kaifen I say lekabel Torah mitzvahs. It's not, we are not like other religions, the forced conversion. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? V'chein tziva Moshe Rabbeinu, mipi ha'gvura, lokuf es kol boy olam, lekabel kol mitzvahs shenitzave noyach. Okay? So it's a very interesting thing. There's a separate mitzvah on Klal Yisrael, I'm not in Minyan HaMitzvos, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It takes a sivu b'alpeh, it's not in Minyan HaMitzvos. Lokuf es kol boy olam lekabel kol mitzvah shenitzave noyach. V'chol mi sheloi kibo yehareg. And anyone who's not makabel zayin mitzvah noyach is nerag. And the person is not over the zayin mitzvah noyach. It's a separate in Kabbalah. It's a separate din of Ger Toisha. And in fact, I think I'm not mistaken, the Biskarov in the last letter in Chedushi Agriz, Mo'am Riz Alevi al Rambam, he discusses this idea as a new concept which goes beyond Zayin Mitzvah B'nai Noyach. It's kilo our obligation to set up this new institution of Ger Toisha. And we'll talk about this a little bit soon, a little bit more. But the question is, once you have this halacha, maybe there's no separate din of kaifen makabel zayin mitzvahs in milchama. Maybe the whole thing is this halacha that the Rebbeinu Shel Mitzvah. And the question is, you ask some a different question. Where do you see the God was mitzvah? So maybe it's this din of milchama. But then it's not a din of milchama. It's just that since the goy is tachas yodai, so you have to force it to makabel zayin mitzvahs or yoheg, whatever that means. So then the din of it's not. The din of Kabbalah Zayin Mitzvah Noyach is not part of the din of Shalom. It's a separate din. But if you're not Makabel Shalom, if you're not Makabel Zayin Mitzvah Noyach, is Hogan Oisai because of that. And if you're not Mashlim, it's Hogan because of Milchama. So if that's correct, if you really take that approach, then in the Ram's Loshen, Shlimu and Kabbalah Zayin Mitzvah Noach are two separate dinim. Okay? It's not part of the Shalom process. And it could be that it's a separate din, therefore it's Shloimah B'Tevosam. It's not part of Shlomim, and Briskerov is A-OK. And then you could say that the Rambam in Minyan HaMitzvos actually agrees and holds that you require in Milchama, you require them to makabel Zayin Mitzvah Noach, but it's nothing to do with the mitzvah of, it's not a din, medin Milchama, it's a general din that when Goy is Tachas Yodoi, you mechayev him to observe the Zayin Mitzvahs. He has to makabel it. So then everything works out beautifully. And if I'm not mistaken, the Osameach is maybe in Perek Aleph of the Mila, Halacha Vav, I think is ready to accept this suggestion. For whatever reason he's discussing there. So that I thought was a whole new insight into this issue, and I think the Biskarov then becomes very interesting that Shloimah Mitevasa are two different things, two different aspects. Shloimah is Materis Milchama, and Tevasa is Kabbalah Zayin Mitzvah Noach. Now, I want to share with you something, but I ask you, Laman Hashalom, not to go public with this issue. But you see, according to the Rambam, that Ger Toshav is only noyeg bisman shayobel noyeg. So you come to a situation of almost Netherland. What do you do in a milchama? And you call the shalom, and the guy, capitulates, and there's no, according to the Rambam, the Rav is not like that. The Rav has that Ger Toshav is limited only certain dinim. According to the Rambam, every time there's Kabbalah Zayin mitzvahs, it's always Ger Toshav. So what are you supposed to do, and how are you supposed to act? And I'm very unclear about that according to the Rambam. Okay.
Recording in progress.